there comes a time in life where you realize you just grow up so quickly, and the one thing you missed was the car you grew up with. Oh, I can't do this.
This fall, a new addition to the family. Built not bought. Hilux LN106 build. This is a car that I grew up with when I was a P-blader.
Alright, so I've gone and done it. I've found myself an LN106 Hilux. So this is the car that I kind of grew up when I was a P-plater. Everyone had these things. Now the Patrol behind me, obviously my big touring car, so the plan with the Hilux is to build like a mini version of it. So I kind of want to mimic a lot of the looks, the dual snorkels, the bonnet scoop, the paint, the canopy, all that kind of stuff. Same wheels, tires, everything. So that is our inspiration. So we're going to start pulling this Hilux apart and rip into this thing. All this footage is very old. How old? Like a year ago? We filmed the Hilux. All right, so cue a year ago. Alright, it's LN106 time, baby. I have been away for the last week or so. Monique started, I'm not sure where she got up to, but some stuff's been disconnected, ready to come apart. I'm gonna start pulling the motor out. So the plan with this is new engine. I'm pretty much gonna do a full resto rebuild on it. So I wanna get the cab off even, cab tray, full chassis clean, motor out, we're swapping that for something else. Probably paint the cab a different color as well, and then work our way back from there, just some new interior, make our own tray, canopy, all that good stuff. So it's the easy bit, tearing it apart, and then we're ripping to building it up. If anyone wants to buy a stock Hilux tray, 100 bucks. Reckon good price? Nice. How simple are they, eh? They're so simple, there's nothing to them. Wow. So much room for activities. Alright, this morning got the cab off. Super easy with these. There's literally like 6 body mount bolts, steering, brake lines, and then handbrake line on this as well. The rest of it, boom, off she comes. So now the plan over the next few days, clean up this chassis. I'll rip that gearbox out, we're not using that. Body, unsure about that. There's a few little rust holes that appeared. Fix the rust, get it off for bodywork so we can paint this thing. I'll just give the chassis a coat of something to keep it rust protected. And then we can start ripping to the modifications that we're gonna do to make this thing epic. You smell that? Smell like Listerine that you keep in your toolbox. Do you have a toothbrush there as well?
No, I just have fresh breath all the time.
Alrighty guys, I'm about to reveal what motor we're putting in this Hilux, but one thing I can tell you is it is a modern engine out of a BMW. So one thing that I'm gonna have to cross later on is sorting out any fault codes and issues because there's so many ECUs going on, which brings us to today's sponsor, Carly. Alright guys, so it's just a little dongle. It's very simple. You throw it in your OBD scanner and there's an app which will allow you to unlock a ton of features on your car. Now the first thing that you want to do is sort out your diagnostics, go through, do a fault scan. It actually has a little smart mechanic segment where a fault code will come up and it will tell you a bunch of common issues that can cause that, so you can kind of fix it yourself rather than going to the mechanic. Now, another feature it has is coding. So if you have a modern vehicle, a new Audi or Mercedes or something like that, you can actually go in and customize features. For example, on your dash, if you want to change the screen when the car turns on, or sweeping on the gauges, it can add all those extra features that your car may not have had before. So definitely go and check it out. There's a ton of features. As soon as you download the app, you can select the vehicle you've got and it will give you a guide of what's available for that specific car. I've used it a ton of times for clearing codes on all my vehicles. Definitely go and check them out. If you want to grab them, there'll be a link down below to the website. Use code BNB, I actually save 15% when you purchase it. Go check it out. Alrighty, we're getting back into the Hilux build. I kind of forget where we're at, but the body's up there on a table. The chassis is all the way down there, but I can't remember whether I told you guys what motor we're putting in it. So I've decided to put in an M57, which is a fully sick Limby Bash and diesel. It's basically the motor that was in the X5 BMWs. And apparently with the tune and not too much internals work, like stock bottom end, bit more boost in the turbo, you can get like almost 400 horsepower out of them. So I don't know if it's been done in an old LM106 Hilux before, but that is the plan. Mitch is gonna rip the motor out today, so that's ready to go. We could do.
Standstill?
It might be all-wheel drive. I don't know much about it. It hauls ass, but drives good. So I got this thing, it was from Pickles Auctions, and apparently it was a write-off. The only damage I can see is that. So a little damage there, write-off. Look out, Axel, you're about to get run over. I think it's all-wheel drive. Yeah, they are all-wheel drive. But they're a very underrated motor. They rev like shit, like crazy. They rev like a petrol engine, but they're a diesel. Mitch is gonna whack that out, try and keep, we are gonna use the gearbox, so it's gonna be an auto, which will be sick, an auto LM106, and try and keep obviously all the harness intact, hoses and everything, so we'll let Mitch rip it out. Probably gonna take a day or so, not even.
Day, box, couple hours, motor, couple hours.
Couple hours.
Right here, so I've come up with an idea. Because it's an auto and the interior in these BMWs is actually so nice, I'm gonna try my best to make it work for the Hilux. And because the Hilux had bench seats, we're gonna swap it to bucket, and that space in between, I'm gonna try my best to modify and make that interior fit. Come have a look, it looks sick. So that's the center console and the shifter, and it actually looks super nice and modern. So if I can make that work in the Hilux, that'd be awesome. You look at that, it's time to test the tensile strength of everything that's left. Motor, box, everything's unsecure. I just need to undo engine mounts and it's good to come out. Yeah. Oh, hold up, you're off the jack now, but we could probably get forward.
Right, it's another day on the Hilux build. We are getting closer. So, cab's been stripped, chassis been stripped, and today, me and Mitch are gonna be putting in this motor. So the first mish is to get it dropped in and just see what needs to happen. I'm not gonna cut off these engine mounts just yet because they may be helpful for us, but probably gonna have to cut them off. But the first step is to remove the sump.
Remove sump.
Because it's all-wheel drive. Yeah.
You can just trim the sump on these. So
Yeah.
just cut like that bit out.
It's a separate section.
Be super careful though.
I'll get Mitch to do that. I'll get him to film that as well. Remove the sump, cut that section out, take the transfer case off because we are going to be using a patrol transfer case. Actually, there's GQ sitting down the back. We'll probably pinch that one. And then we can drop it in and see what has to happen mounts-wise. So we'll rip into that.
Right, so thanks to my Instagram page, a guy messaged me that's done an M57 swap before in a patrol. Not similar, but close enough. And with the sump, because the axles run through the sump, I'm gonna take the sump off and then cut away that part, that way it doesn't foul on our LN diff, much to Sam's disgust. We're gonna rip the sump off and get into trimming that now. With these M57 sumps, there's some hidden bolts up in the bell housing, but if you just get your socket up in there and undo them, sump comes straight down. So we've got the sump on the bench behind me, and I'm just going to show you guys where roughly we're going to start cutting. I'm just going to try and cut out all the bits you don't need, then grind it flat to make it look good. So we start off with just, obviously down here, I'm going to try and cut out this section. You got to be super careful not to cut into your sump. Along here, down there, and then just get rid of all this, that way we don't have any clearance problems for the sump. Right, after hours I've finally got it to this point. I just used a grinder to cut it, and a circ saw actually. There was probably better tools to use, but that's what I decided to use. But I got most of the shit out, now I just need to clean the rest up and make it look nice. Quick! Oh, stop. Look at the front. Hey guys, we just want to interrupt today's video to show you our new merchandise designs. So we've got the Duramax tee over here. Cool design on the back. And then we've got the new grey hoodie as well. That's like the OG design. Now comes in grey, perfect for the time that
Anyway, thanks for supporting our online store, guys. There's a bunch of other stuff there. Our new winter drop hoodie is also back in stock. If you guys missed out when we launched it at the Sydney show, they're on there as well.
All the flexi tees and...
Oh yeah, we got flexi tees too.
And all the flexi tees are back in stock now, so make sure you jump over there and don't miss out.
Okay, we've decided to just finger tight the sump on for now so it can be properly cleaned up later. We're going to test fit it. So we've removed the transfer case. We're using a Patrol one. Two of the engine mounts have come off because we're going to have to make up brackets for that. So the plan is now to try and get it as level as we can on the forklift so it can drop on at a reasonable level. So the motor it'll be floating. I mean, we've got nothing to mount, nothing to reference against. I'm going to try and measure from the front fan to where the cross member will be on the body, so I can look at body mounts and then get a measurement back from that, so make sure we've got enough room for radiator. Whether we do an external fan or use this one, I'm not sure yet. And then we can kind of start looking at a reference point of where we put the cross member for the gearbox, and then basically make up our own engine mounts. And then it's a case of just whacking the cab on and go for a drive. We've discovered something.
It's been repaired.
This is not factory. But can I just say, how can a car drive so good? I mean, I know it's factory, but this whole exhaust manifold, all 6 outlets go into that, which is about that big. Imagine 6 exhaust ports all running through a hole that size into the turbo. So whether or not we're going to change that, I'm not sure, but with the tune only, apparently it can make like 300 horsepower-ish. So I don't know, I'll look into that, what options there are, but that is insane. How? Here we go. What we've done is found middle of the chassis, same with the back. Now the thing with the M57s is they're a slanted design, so the crank is there, but this is offset and the head comes up on a bit of an angle. But that is the center. We measured the back, so the output shaft is center there. This was sort of our original forwards and backwards position. Now we've kind of jagged it because there's about an inch clearance here on the alternator. Same on the other side where there's the solenoid for the turbo. So that'll allow a little bit of like engine torque, so there's no banging on the chassis and stuff. Room for dump pipe, room to make engine mounts. We've actually, I think, we're gonna put probably a 2-inch body lift on as well because we're not doing too much suspension lift. With that clearance, I was worried about the tunnel maybe having to be beaten out or cut or modified, but I think it's actually going to clear the tunnel fine because we've got 200 mil of clearance there, where there's about 230 on the car. The back here, this is where this mark is. We've actually come forward slightly, so the clearance on the back firewall will be just mint, which is good. So the next thing is to just mock up some engine mounts, pull it out again, grind the chassis, get it all cleaned up, tack it together, and sit it in properly. Same with the transmission. We're going to make a little mount which will probably come up to the Patrol. The Patrol transfer case has a couple of nice little rubbers on it, so we'll just adapt off of that, probably start again, and this has a little dip in it that goes down. We can literally build one that goes straight across now and actually gain some ground clearance, so pretty stoked about that. Australian first, well at least that's what Fusion Fab told me. He's a genius with these, and he's like, I'm pretty sure it hasn't been done in an LM106 before, so bloody groundbreaking engineering happening right here. Alrighty, so we've had the night to think about this. We are on the next day and it's engine mount time. So what we're gonna do on the passenger side, we're gonna use a normal sandwich plate mount, which is basically just a rubber, 2 flat bits. Pretty standard on a lot of cars. I don't actually know what one that, we forgot to ask it, didn't we? It's like, it's very similar to like a TD42 style mount. So that's gonna be on this side, there's plenty of room for that. The other side's a bit trickier because the actually engine mount on the motor is sort of level, if not a little bit lower than the chassis rail. So I'm doing like a bush style design. So this is pretty much what they do on the Duramax swaps and conversions. So it's actually a radius rubber, and there'll be a bolt going through it. So one side will be like the sandwich plate, the other side will be the bush style. So we're kind of just mocking that up, leaving the motor where it's sitting at the moment, get it tacked in, take the motor out, fully weld everything, and then it should be in for good. Then it's just doing transmission cross member. So we're gonna have to find, ripping that transfer case out and find a good spot to mount across there. But it's just a whole lot of fabrication. Mitch is doing this side, I'm doing the other side. We'll see how it looks.
We're back. Sam has officially left us, he's gone. So today I'm going to get Monique on cleaning the chassis and prepping it for paint. I'm going to work on cleaning up the sump and getting it back on, then I'm going to throw the motor back in, hopefully the last time, and see if this cab can fit. But I made a pretty sick little discovery. So these are the original Hilux power steering lines, and this thread literally screws into this pump. This line for the low pressure return could go straight onto here, runs across here, just like it did from factory, and screws back into the power steering pump, not pump, box. How good?
Yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.
Sweet. So we've painted the chassis. Now it's time to throw the motor back in, kind of get it sitting where it's gonna sit, and then we're gonna test fit the cab to see how we are for tunnel clearance and stuff like that. We are gonna use 2-inch body blocks on the cab, just to give it that bit more clearance for the firewall and the tunnel. So, let's get into that.
Under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah.
Oh. Let's put these arms under here, lift up cab, put cab on car. We're just doing some like minor adjustments to make it fit.
And just like that, with a little bit of massaging, I reckon the motor's gonna fit. So I'm gonna drop the cab on, but you're gonna have to wait for next episode for that. Make sure to subscribe, you don't wanna miss anything on the LM106 build. And thanks for supporting the online store, it's been really good lately. We've had some new merch for winter, so go check that out. We'll see you later.